By now, it was 5 in the morning and we were in Trafalgar Square. Gussie got the idea there might be newts in the fountain and started wading about.
You can't get wading about in Trafalgar Square fountain with all your clothes on.
Well, Gussie did.
Well, he wasn't pinched.
He was. A cop came along and gaffed him. He was given 14 days without the option of Bosher Street Police Court this morning.
You know what, Jeeves?
No, sir.
Gussie Pinknottle's in stir. Gussie Pinknottle's in stir. You see the ghastly position, Jeeves? What is going to happen when Gussie doesn't turn up at Deverell Hall? Madeline will make inquiries. You know what women are like for digging out the truth. And nothing but an idealistic young girl offer a fellow more than the news that he's doing 14 days in Chokey.
A very acute observation, sir.
There can be but one result. Gussie will get the bum's rush, and the bowed figure you will see shambling down the aisle at Madeline Bassett's side, while the organ plays The Voice That Breathed O'er Eden, will be Bertram Wilberforce Wooster.
Well, I don't see why.
Madeline Bassett labours under the delusion that I'm madly in love with her. Well, when a girl thinks you're in love with her and comes to you and says that she's returning her betrothed to store and is prepared to sign up with you instead, what can you do except marry her? Well, it has to be civil.
There is one possible solution, sir.
You see? There is one possible solution, sir, just like that. For your information, Catsmeet, Jeeves takes a size 14 hat, eats tons of fish, and moves in mysterious ways his wonders to perform. Speak, Jeeves.
Well, sir, to obviate the inquiries which would inevitably be set on foot should Mr. Finknottle not present himself at Deverell Hall this evening, it would appear to me to be essential that a substitute purporting to be Mr. Finknottle should take his place.
We're not suggesting that I check in at this plague pit as Gussie.
Unless you can persuade one of your friends to do so, sir.
You can't go around London asking people to pretend to be Gussie Finknottle. Well, at least you can, I suppose, but what a hell of a life. Besides, there isn't even Catsmeet.
Not odd, old chap. They all know me at Deverell.
Well, I can't do it. Apart from anything else, I can't even do a passable imitation of Gussie.
You'll pardon me for pointing this out, sir, but the virtue of the plan is that there is no need for you to approximate the look or manner of Mr. Finknottle. Nobody at Deverell Hall has ever seen him.
Yes, but dash it all, Jeeves, they must at least have heard about him. I mean, let's face it, if Gussie's brain were constructed of silk, he'd be hard put to it to find sufficient material to make a canary a pair of cami knickers. 5 minutes conversation with me, and the old folks would penetrate the deception like a dose of salts.
I'm sure that your cool head and undoubted thespian powers will see you through the day, sir.
Jeeves, what are we letting ourselves in for?
I regret to say that I shall not be able to accompany you on this venture, sir.
Not be it? Why on earth not, Jeeves?
I'm sorry, sir. The Ganymede Club would not look kindly on a gentleman's gentleman sailing, as it were, under false colours.
Mr. Finknottle, sir?
No? Oh, yeah, that's to say, yes, Finknottle, yes. I'd better be nipping up to dress, what? Don't want to be late for dinner.
Well, dinner has already commenced, sir. We dine at 7:30 punctually at Deverell.
So straight in and join the fray, I think.
Such were Dame Daphne's instructions, sir.
Right, lead on then.
Mr. Finknottle has arrived, Dame Daphne.
Oh, good. Oh, Finknottle, sorry, Finknottle.
Mr. Finknottle, you're very late. You'll have to forego the soup and the fish.
Oh, consider them forward. Yes, well, that's what I said, yeah. Well, this is jolly.
Allow me to introduce my sisters. Miss Emmeline Deverell, Miss Myrtle Deverell, Miss Harriet Deverell, and Miss Charlotte Deverell.
All the little Deverells, eh? Well, I'm Gussie Finknottle, noted newt fancier.
What did he say? He said he's a newt fancier. Is that why he's so late?
And this is my daughter, Gertrude Winkworth. The nephew of a friend of mine is also meant to be here. I wonder if you know him, a Mr. Wooster.
Bertie Wooster? Oh, yes. Well, no, I've not actually had the pleasure, but I've heard of him. Well, that's how I know his name, yes.
Apparently, he's completely irresponsible. Agatha says she often wonders if the kindest thing wouldn't be to put in some kind of home.
But if that isn't just... Yes. Now, I wonder, has everyone heard the one about the fan dancer and the performing flea? No, actually, here's a better one. Yes, there are these three deaf chaps on a train, and it stops at Wembley.
What's he doing? Mr. Finknottle is telling an anecdote.
Anyway, there it is at Wembley, and one of the chaps says, "Is this Wembley?" And the other one says, "No, it's Thursday."
What did he say? He said, no, it's Thursday. No, it's not. It's Friday. I know, because I changed my library book.
It's a joke, Charlotte.
Thank you. So then the third one says, "So am I. Let's go out and have a drink."
It's a joke about drink, Charlotte.
No, it's not about drink. It's about,
Oh, why did the first man bring up the days of the week? No, the first man is the one who says, "Is this Wimbledon?"
No,
That was the second man.
Let Mr. Finknottle finish his joke before we judge it.
Well, that was it, actually.
Is it about tennis, perhaps?
I don't care for jokes about tennis.
No, it's some jokes about tennis.
No, I don't.
Jeeves!
Good evening, sir.
What on earth are you doing here?
I'm performing my customary office, Mr. Finknottle, in attending Mr. Wooster.
Gussie? You're meant to be in court.
Allow me to help you with that, Mr. Wooster.
What? Oh,
Yes.
Worcester?
You must be Mr. Wooster.
Yes.
I beg your pardon.
No, not me. No, I'm Finknottle, you know, the mute man.
Morning, sir.
Never mind good morning. What on earth is going on? How did Gussie get out of stir?
The magistrate decided on second thoughts to substitute a fine for the prison sentence, sir. I was unable to inform you since it happened while you were already on your way here.
So Gussie is freed from durance vile, and you scoop him up and bring him to Deverell Hall.
Yes, sir.
Why?
It seemed the best possible course of action, sir. In the event of either of you failing to arrive, inquiries would have been instituted by either Mrs. Gregson or Miss Bassett, with disastrous results. To point out just one aspect of the matter, sir, Miss Bassett is expecting daily letters from Mr. Finknottle describing in some detail his life here.
Well, I hadn't thought of that. So, I'm Gussie, and Gus is me.
Yes, sir.
Well, ceaseless vigilance will be required if we're not to gum up the game with that crew downstairs. We shall be walking on eggshells.
A very trenchant metaphor, sir.
Hello, Gussie. Or rather, Bertie.
Well, this is a pretty state of things.
Better than being in kink, though, eh?
When you're in prison, at least you don't have people calling you Mr. Wooster. How do you suppose I feel knowing that everybody thinks you're me?
Well, I assumed you prefer it.
Prefer it? Are you mad?
Well, how do you think I feel? Do you realise that the little world of King's Deverell is probably going to go to its grave believing that Bertram Wooster is an oversized gargoyle who looks like Lester the Pester in that American comic strip?
In case you are under any illusion, then let me inform you that those aunts were pulling their skirts aside as I passed when I said I was Bertie Wooster, and, as if that wasn't bad enough, you seem to have made my name mud too. Something about trains and Wimbledon, an unseemly anecdote. They said, what's going to happen if they tell Madeline I go about telling unseemly anecdotes?
I advise stout denial, and in case it wasn't about
Mr. Wooster? Mr. Finknottle?
Ah, what ho, Dame Daphne?
Gertrude is on the terrace, Mr. Wooster.
Well?
I thought perhaps you might want to talk to her.
What about?
Excuse us just a moment, will you? Gussie, I am meant to be down here wooing Gertrude Winkworth.
Wooing?
Wooing, courting, pressing one's suit, dallying with.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, you're going to have to do it, Gussie, because you're meant to be me.
You do your own dirty work. Suppose Madeline found out.
Madeline won't find out. She's miles away in Wimbledon. Yes, Bertie thinks that after all you might actually just totter out onto the terrace and have a quick word with Gertrude, don't you, Bertie?
No,
I'm sure she'd be very pleased to see you.
well,
Yes, almost as pleased as I shall be to see dear old Madeline again. Yes, I've got so much to tell her.
well, you could... Oh, very well.